every character in Overwatch has their own abilities, which is what makes all these Overwatch heroes unique. Now today, we are going to be going over the best out of, in most cases, the best out of all of the abilities that each hero has. So, top 5 best ultimates in the game. What is an ultimate? Well, I mean, unless you don't play Overwatch, you probably wouldn't, you probably know what an ultimate is, but for those who don't, an ultimate is a ability that a character can use that charges up over time. It's not on a cooldown. It charges up based on like how much damage you deal, how much damage you take. I think is another factor, and some ultimates like based on how good or bad they are have different charge times. So for example, Zarya's Graviton Surge takes a really long time to charge because it's like one of the best ultimates in the game. But Tracer's Pulse Bomb takes like super short time to charge because it's one of the worst ultimates in the game. I mean, you can get like a couple kills with it, but it's not very good. You know, it's okay on paper because it can do a lot of damage, but it won't kill like a full health tank. So, today we're going to be going over, like I said, top 5 best ultimates in the game. So, at the number 5 spot is Genji's Dragon Blade. Genji pulls out a katana from his back. That didn't sound right, but he pulls out a katana from the sword thing, the sword holder on his back. And each swing does 120 damage. And when you use his ultimate, you get Swift Strike Reset. Swift Strike deals 50 damage, it's like a little dash, so it can be used to go deal some extra damage to enemies and then finish them off with a swing or two. What else? It has a range of 5 meters, and it can deal tons of damage if paired with, like, Graviton Surge. Nano Boost really helps too, because Nano Boost will be included later on the list, of course. Nano Boost gives you a boost to damage and reduces the amount of damage you take. So that's also really good with Nano Boost because Genji's already hard enough to hit when he's using Dragon Blade because he's dashing all around all the place every time he gets a kill, which is really, really good. It's like a really, really good ability. But yeah, it can be paired with some other abilities, but I think it's a pretty good ability by itself. Meaning that, you don't have to, it's not necessary that you have a Zarya Graviton Surge or an Nano Boost to be able to succeed with it. So at the number 4 spot is Sigma's Gravitic Flux. Sigma's Gravitic Flux is probably one of the most unique ultimates in the game. What he does is he lifts up everybody. He lifts up like everybody who gets caught in the little radius and then slams them back down. Dealing, I believe it's like half of the health that each hero has, so it's different for everybody. But like with Tracer, it will be 75 damage if Tracer is at full health. For Roadhog, it would be 300 damage, and so on and so forth. But it's really good if the enemies are below half health, because then it'll just insta-kill them, which is why, you can use your orbs to get in a little bit of extra damage before everybody gets slammed back down. So it's a really good ultimate, because it can deal tons of damage, and it can be paired with other ultimates, like High Noon is a really good one, and I feel like Death Blossom might work out too, because you slam them all down, they're already low, and they're already in a pretty compact, little area, and then Reaper just Death Blossoms and finishes them all off, because they can't run away in time before they get killed. So, like I said, High Noon works really well too because he lifts them up into the air, and if McCree is behind the enemy team, they won't know where he is because they can't see, and they're more focused on the Sigma and the enemy team that has lifted them up into the air. So McCree pops his High Noon, everybody puts up their shield or their Matrix or whatever, and then they end up dying anyway because they don't know where the McCree is, and it deals tons of damage too. I feel like it could also help up, like if McCree doesn't get off his High Noon by the time everybody gets slammed down, he could also use that to like speed up the charge or something. I don't know. It's a really good ultimate. So at the number 3 spot is going to be Ana's Nano Boost. Now I already talked about it a little bit earlier in the video. Nano Boost, what it does is it reduces the amount of damage you take and it increases the amount of damage you do. Now, this ultimate can only be given to another teammate, meaning that it's really good, because Ana's a support hero, so she obviously can't use it on herself unless she's in a deathmatch or like in just like a whole different game mode where she has nobody else to Nano Boost. So she just ends up Nano Boosting herself. It can be paired with other ultimates like Death Blossom for what a lot of people call Beyblade, but I like to call it Nano Blossom, because I always get Beyblade confused with Nano Blade, which is Genji and Ana's ultimate paired together. I mean, you can pretty much use it with any other ultimate. What's it called? Nano Shatter for Reinhardt, Nano Flux for Sigma, pretty much anybody. Even like Nano Tire with Junkrat, maybe. That's why it's such a versatile ultimate. I mean, you're obviously not going to want to nano a Mercy or a Lucio, but you can nano a Moira to get some pretty good damage in with Coalescence. But at the number 2 spot, Sombra's EMP. Now, EMP, her hacking ability alone is one of the best abilities in the game. I mean, the ability to temporarily disable any enemy's abilities is really, really helpful. If they have a Rhine and a Roadhog and you're trying to, land a Diva Bomb or a Death Blossom and the Reinhardt is putting up a shield every time they use it, you just hold LT or L2 or left click, I think it would be, or not left click, right click, do a little hacky and then they can't put their barrier up anymore, meaning that they're extremely vulnerable. Now, EMP is that on steroids, literally, like a million times better, because in the radius, if the enemies are caught within the radius, then they will all have their abilities disabled for, I believe it's like 6 seconds, it might not seem like a long time, but in a game like Overwatch, it's a very long time, considering how valuable time is in this game. So, yeah, you can pair it with Riptire to deal tons of damage, Death Blossom, because then Sigma can't suck, Diva can't Matrix, Rhine, Orisa, Sigma can't shield, all of that. So it's really, really good. Roadhog can't hook, Ana can't sleep, what else? Brigitta can't shield bash, or put her shield up to. Anybody with a stun ability or a shield is pretty much just thrown into the trash with this, especially characters like Ana with her having some, like, 2 of the best abilities in the game. I mean, she can cancel out enemy team healing, so when you get hit with that anti-nade, you cannot heal, you cannot get healed for the amount of time that it lasts, and the Sleep Dart is really good. I believe, I might say Sleep Dart is probably one of the best stuns in the game, except the fact that you get woken up. Shield Bash and Flashbang, and maybe even Hook are pretty close seconds. So at the number 1 spot, Zarya's Graviton Surge. Graviton Surge was, and always will be the best ultimate in the game. What it is you shoot like this black hole, and it lands on the ground somewhere, and it'll suck all the enemy teams in and trap them like in like a little area. So it doesn't deal any damage, and they don't get like trapped inside the black hole. They just can't leave like the side of the black hole, I guess. You'll see it in the gameplay, but it's really good for pairing up with other ultimates, like, I would say definitely High Noon, definitely Death Blossom, like, all those ultimates that I mentioned before that were good with pairing with Sigmas are pretty much really good with pairing with Zarya's, because they can't escape that close radius, so, Reaper, they cannot get out of the way of Reaper's Death Blossom. All they can do is put their shields up, but if Sombra's EMP'd them, which is another good ultimate to pair with that, then there is really no hope for them left. Reaper just Death Blossoms, and they cannot escape that close range where Reaper excels at, and then the entire team's dead. High Noon, they're still, like Sigma's ult, they're still gonna be focused on the team in front of them, and they're gonna think that McCree is coming from in front of them, but in reality it's coming from behind them. But if they put up the shield behind them, then they're going to get just melted by the team in front of them, or by the team that was in front of them, but now is behind them. It's a really good ultimate. That's all I have to say. But thank you for watching this video. Subscribe, or I will take all of your loot boxes, and I will open them, and I will make sure that they all result in commons, sprays, and voice lines. But hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you in the next Overwatch video. Goodbye.